Chaos. Hey guys, Primal Chaos here. Welcome to the channel. Look, if you've been around for a long time and you sort of came in when I was doing like Lorna Shore and bands of that type, a lot of Parkway sort of stuff originally, August Burns Red, that sort of stuff, there's probably been a lot of stuff on the channel that wasn't really your cup of tea. If that's the case, thanks for sticking around. Look, this has been a journey I've been taking. I'm going where the audience takes me. You know, like there's a lot to be said for sticking in with a genre and a niche and muscling through. But to be honest, I've been taking on some really interesting journeys. And if you're open-minded about music, you probably have found following along, if you've been following along with me, there's a lot of great music out there, particularly if you're into metal. There's some Japanese bands that are going to really make your toes curl, you know, and a lot of other things. And I'm interested in like getting down to the nitty gritty of understanding why so many, you know, metal tends to be fairly niche, but you know, there's these other genres where there's just so much passion from the fan bases that you just can't ignore it. You got to sort of understand why, and whether that comes down to people's tastes and whether or not you agree with their tastes, you know, at the end of the day, everybody likes something, and it takes different strokes, as they said back in the 80s, you know. One of the major acts that, for whatever reason, I've never even gotten around to on this channel, but they were always kind of on the periphery of other bands that I liked, and people who like the stuff I like tend to like Slipknot as well. And for whatever reason, I just never got into them. You know, I mean, I know who they are. I know about the Masks. I know Corey Taylor. I know, you know, I've heard probably, you know, probably more Stone Sour than I have Slipknot. And I haven't heard a lot of Stone Sour. So, but I like what they're about. I like any band that has the audacity to come up with a gimmick that isn't kind of on the nose and cheesy. Like, their gimmick is actually pretty badass. But you know what? No band with a gimmick works in a vacuum. There has to be some substance for them to stick around. And Slipknot have been stalwarts in the industry for so long. It's kind of on me to go follow up on them and find out what I've been missing rather than them trying to reach out to me. You know what I mean? So here we are, Slipknot, Psychosocial. I literally picked the first thing on YouTube. It has 444 million views. It's about 12 years old. So that's what I wanted to do, is jump into sort of back, you know, quite a while ago, rather than looking at new stuff. I like to look at sort of the guts of bands, long-term bands' careers first, and see if I can pick up on something that maybe, you know, why did I miss these guys? What is it about Slipknot that I never really decided to check out and get invested in? Anyway, let's find out. Okay. It's good solid riffs. Do I see a Telecaster in there? Am I crazy? Yep. Right, okay, so it's got like a solid chorus there. Alright. Interesting. Interesting. Wow, okay. I was not expecting that. I thought it'd be... Yeah. So it seems like they keep a lot of the heaviness for the verses, and then just have a catchy hook, which is like, it's all you can ask for, really. Like, that's what people want. For the most part, you know, I mean, obviously there's people out there who don't want anything accessible at all in their music, but to me, that's engaging. That was a great chorus hook. Be interesting to see how they take that with the formula. Is it going to be just verse, chorus, breakdown, double chorus? Maybe, who knows? But one thing I found interesting about Corey's voice too is, I mean, he starts out with like a real like death growl kind of boo sort of thing, and then when he goes into actually singing the verse part, so still aggressively singing, he seems to just it's not as distorted as, like, say, current sort of deathcore bands and stuff would be, but he has this way of sort of straddling this line between compression, like a lot of sort of, "Rah," but he's always on the brink of distorting out. So you kind of get this like his ability to sort of you know, without sort of breaking stride. It seems like he's found a really good place where he's kind of just sitting on that fry scream sort of barrier, so he can just flip over into it at a moment's notice and add some distortion to his voice, possibly without causing a lot of damage, you know, or any damage at all. And then when he comes into the chorus, like the main hook, that's just straight up rock singing. There's nothing about that. Yeah, and he's got like, you know, just typical pop rock harmonies and stuff in there. But because they're so aggressive and the visuals are so aggressive, you kind of don't notice it, you know. But that's just basic pop rock writing. That's like Foo Fighters, right? But then what they do is they dial it back to that aggressive sort of verses and stuff, so that you still feel like you're back in, you know, you're in the right pit, if you know what I mean. That's great. I'm already a fan. I like this. Tonally, it's interesting too. It's kind of got a dissonance to the transition between the chorus and verse there. It's probably that sort of like high D sort of sound. I love that they just got a dude whose job it is just beat the shit out of just farm objects with a hammer or whatever. I've seen that. I'm trying to think. When I saw Korn once, they had a dude in a horse mask or something that would just smash like big plates of steel and stuff like that with things. You know, I wonder if it was part of the. I haven't seen Slipknot, have I? I'm sure I haven't. No. I'm trying to think. I went and saw Korn once, and they had. Maybe it was 38 Crazy Fists or something. I can't remember. It was a long time ago. Anyway, let's jump back in. This is nothing new, but when we kill it all, was all we had. This verse is much more vocally aggressive, like he's pushing the line a lot more. Sort of. Oh, we got shredding. No, I'm always down for that. Nice clean soloing through there. That's really cool. Bit of shredding. Come on. Yes! Great breakdown. I love that sort of like. So this is on the verse, right? I like that. Hear that call and response? Chorus again. Wow. How long is this track? 5 minutes, okay. Oh, I like this. That's cool. I like that. Just not sure if it's heaps of voices or a delay. Very cool, Slipknot. Very cool. All right. Stick around after the break. I'll give you a final rundown what my final thoughts are on Slipknot Psychosocial. Hey guys, this video is made possible by Enchroma. 1 in 6 guys and 1 in 200 women are colorblind, and if that happens to be you, there's something you can do about it. Click the link in the description, it'll take you to Enchroma's website where you can get a free eye test. And while you're there, maybe pick up some corrective lenses. They've got styles to suit everybody and a 60-day money-back guarantee, so you got really nothing to lose. And while you're there, use the code CHAOS in checkout to get 10% off. Tell them Primal Chaos sent you. Right, so, man, like, what is there to say? Like, That actually exceeded all my expectations. I thought, and again, there may be like periods of Slipknot that don't really relate to this track, so that might be an interesting thing to talk about in the comments. To me, I was expecting something far less accessible. I always looked at Slipknot as being probably more aggressive than I would have liked to have gotten involved in back in the day. You know, I've always liked metal and stuff, but to me it was always kind of more like European sort of stuff that's, you know, more like symphonic metal and stuff like that back in the day. Because I was more enamored with like a lot of the composition elements. You know, they always have insane guitar solos. They got like brilliant players and lots of orchestration, which always, anything cinematic sounding always sort of floated my boat. And to me, Slipknot always just seemed probably a little bit more baseline, just brutality. And it wasn't kind of what I was looking for at the time. That said, this was great. This was a great song. I don't know if my tastes have shifted since I started this channel or what, but I really like the way that they sort of place pieces together. So you have like this incredible, aggressive, sort of punchy intro. The verses sort of keep up that intensity to a degree. They dial it back just a notch so that there's somewhere to go later on in the song for a big chorus and stuff like that. But I mean, Corey's voice is just so versatile. I did not expect that at all. I mean, I've heard him sing in Stone Sour, which to me always seemed a little bit more singy than I was expecting from Slipknot, right? I thought the difference between those two bands would have been more night and day, and it really isn't. It's a little bit more aggressive, but the chorus hooks and stuff like that don't seem all that different. Where it becomes way more brutal is that breakdown. That was super creative, had a lot of energy. It sucked a lot of energy out of the song as it sort of breaks down to like something really simple like drum grooves or whatever. And then it builds up and builds up and builds up. And then what I thought was interesting, rather than sort of pump out of that into like an outro, a chorus and an outro, they drop back to another verse. So again, you got that opportunity to sort of like, it goes from a big chorus to this quiet breakdown, builds up again, and then it drops again into a verse, which has kind of got that sort of straight groove energy. And then boom, chorus again, and then like another sort of almost breakdown style outro, you know? So that's compositionally way more complex than I was expecting, and definitely had an accessibility level for like a first time listener and stuff like that to engage with that I was not expecting. And so for me, that's a win. That's a big win. I'll definitely listen to more Slipknot, and I am slapping myself now wondering why I didn't for the longest time. I'm really curious to see what are their big tentpole songs that sort of are the ones that sort of got most people, like old school Slipknot listeners, into them as a band. So let me know. I'd really like to know where to go next to maybe check out. I'm assuming this wasn't one of their fundamental tracks from the early days that really sort of kicked off their career. I think this is probably more middle of the road stuff. I had a guess, like 12 years ago, wasn't that long ago, really, you know? So yeah, do that. And also, are they still pumping out songs? I don't even know if they're still together. I thought they were touring recently. He's got a new Clear Mask or something. I remember reading something about that a couple of years ago, maybe. So let me know if there's modern stuff I should be listening to. I'd really be curious about that as well. All right, so anyway, if you feel like I brightened your day at all, feel free to just buy me a coffee to support the channel. I'll leave a link in the description. Like, share, follow, subscribe. Most of the people, in fact, something like 90% of the people who watch my channel haven't subscribed. So if that's you, now's the time. And also, look, hit me up. I want to know more. Want to know more about this? any other sort of bands that are sort of like adjacent to them as well. I mean, I'm fairly familiar with Korn. I've done a few of their songs as well. I'm more of a fan of like Follow the Leader era Korn, as is most people. But yeah, let me know if there's somewhere else I should take this as well, because I want to sort of get back into the metal. I've been pushing too much into the esoteric and like sort of classical and pop vocals and stuff like that. So I want to maintain order and still have a lot of like core metal values in the channel as well. So thanks again, guys. If you stuck around this long, stay primal. Catch you on the next one.